Our minds quickly race back to the large dinosaurs, the really hairy mammoth, and to the birds that were almost as large as planes whenever we hear the word prehistoric. Science, however, has revealed to us that there was a lot more going on in that period of time than we were taught or could ever imagine. From the pygmy right whale to the scary version of the modern-day sloth, we are counting down on the top 10 prehistoric creatures recently discovered. Keep watching and try to spot the ones you've probably heard of before. 10. The Gorgonops. The Gorgonops walked the Earth more than 200 million years ago, and a complete fossil was discovered by paleontologists from the South American Museum and the Washington University. Although there were findings of different skeletal parts, in places like China and Russia, it was those paleontologists I mentioned earlier that discovered the full version of the fossils. They also discovered something quite unique about it. They found out that it had both features of mammals and reptiles, with an argument as to whether the legs were on its sides like a lizard or all under its body like a regular dog. They found out as well that it was one of the most aggressive and powerful creatures to rule the late Paleozoic era. Animals like these make me feel happy about the whole extinction thing. I can rest easy knowing that that thing would never come anywhere near me. If you think that was wild, wait until you see the one right out of a meteor. 9. Atopodentatus. In 2014, a study conducted found out that the Atopodentatus was the earliest aquatic herbivore to exist. It was thought to have an awkward-shaped set of jaws with a zipper-like structure around its mouth area. In another 2016 study, the misconception was eliminated after it was discovered that their mouths were actually like vacuum cleaners with which they used to scoop up plants and any edible vegetation. In their defense, the error was due to the fact that they had very little to work with in terms of fossils and had to reconstruct from a very little basis. 8. The woolly mammoth. It's amazing to believe that an animal as huge and magnificent as the woolly mammoth wasn't even treated any better than the way we treat the modern-day elephants. We humans treated them so badly that we even set traps for them like we do for a common rabbit or a rat. Believe it or not, mammoth traps were actually a thing. Just imagine how big it must have been. Anyway, I'm not just talking gibberish. The proof of all this depended on a discovery in Mexico in the year 2019. Scientists discovered about 14 mammoth bones of different mammoths which seemed to have been caught by one of those mammoth traps I talked about it earlier. The traps and bones were found to date back as old as 15,000 years ago, and it was believed that the hunters would use torches and sharp objects to chase them into the clutches of their traps and finish them off there. This discovery shook the foundations of the normal stereotype regarding the interaction between humans and mammoths in the before time. It revealed that humans didn't endure them and waited for them to become too weak to fight or looked around for the naturally weakened ones. They actually went out and hunted them down in coordinated attacks. 7. The Hula painted frog. Okay, before I explain anything, try to guess where this frog is from. Go on, I'm waiting. If you guessed Hawaii, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're very wrong. The frog, in fact, has nothing to do with Hawaii and was given that name because of a discovery in the early 1940s. 2 adult frogs with tadpoles were found in a lake named Hula, located in Israel. The frogs were thriving there until the lake suddenly dried up in the late 1950s, thus destroying their natural habitat. Scientists already lost hope and stated that there was no way they would survive the loss of their habitat, especially after it was already turning into a valley and the frogs were nowhere to be seen. They later declared them extinct until very few were later spotted in the year 2011. It was then they realized that the frogs started hiding themselves when things went rough and in fact were never extinct. Oh, and I bet none of you ever guessed Israel. 6. Pygmy right whale. The pygmy right whale is one of the rarest and shyest types of whales to ever exist, so shy that they are, most of the time, analyzed and studied when they are already dead and washed up on the beach. These whales are mostly found in the southern hemisphere regions and can grow as long as 19 feet in length. Let me put this as nicely as I can to you, my dear viewers. They are so shy you would never ever get to see one. I suggest you make do with what you see here and don't put your hopes up, maybe unless you're really serious about finding them. 5. Palau Cave Eel. In 2009, a Japanese diver named Jiro Sagal found the first specimen of the species inside an underwater cave in Palau. A little bit of physical study and DNA analysis revealed that the biological makeup could only be from a new and different breed of eels. They could grow for as long as 1.7 to 7 inches in length and had specially adapted bones to help them store food. Scientists and researchers dated the eel to be as old as 200 million years. But surprisingly, not much has changed with regards to evolution. 4. Lizardeating Sovereign of the Sea. The name sounds a little bit lengthy and kinda bad, but just hear me out. The name is a little bit hard to pronounce, so I just took out the translation of the name, which is kinda fair to be honest. These monsters existed up to 240 million years ago and could grow up to 28 feet in length. They were part of a group of reptiles known as Ichthyosaurus, which roamed around the sea in the dinosaur era. It was in the year 2013 that scientists discovered fossil remains from these magnificent creatures hidden in Nevada. The remains were also very well preserved. Scientists found out that they were so powerful and fierce that they first found out how to chop down an underwater prey almost their size. It's actually a good thing that they went extinct because if they didn't, a bull shark would have been child's play compared to them, and you could kiss your deep sea diving goodbye. Oh, and for the record, if you really want to feel very smart, the real name of the creature was the Latercon Syrophagus. Come to think of it, it wasn't all that hard to pronounce. 3. Giant Sea Scorpion. This creature was one of the most recognized underwater predator during the Paleozoic period, with it being as old as more than 400 million years ago, 465 million years to be precise. This makes it the oldest aquatic arthropod to ever existed. Its remains were discovered in the year 2010, and you would never guess where it was found. It was actually found in a meteorite crater during the course of the search. How alien is that? They also found out that they could grow to be as long as 6 feet, and they were the ancestors of modern-day spiders, lobsters, and ticks. 2. The biggest dinosaurs ever. Scientists from Johannesburg discovered the bones of a giant dinosaur in the year 2018. They were the largest living dinosaurs in their lifetime and could grow so big till they reached a top height of 13 feet and could weigh up to 25,000 pounds. They were the close relatives of the sauropods. 1. Megatherium. The Megatherium was actually a huge ground sloth and was one of the most famous extinct animal during the late 1700s and early 1800s. An almost complete skeleton of a Megatherium was found in 1788 by Manuel Torres at the bank of a river. The bones were later gathered and taken to Madrid for assembly. A French scientist was able to identify the creature, and it was thought to be as one that could possibly be related to your regular sloth. It was given the name Megatherium americana, and the French scientist quickly pushed away the idea that it was related to the regular sloth while insisting they only look similar. He formed this opinion because he didn't believe in evolution. That's all for now, folks. Which of these creatures do you like best? Let us know in the comments section below. And as usual, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to be part of our next video. We really hope to see you soon enough. Until then, stay safe, keep exploring. Bye bye.